Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan. Basically, today we are going to talk about one more question, that is basically who created this SDLC project management plan and software industry basically. So, who has created this? Is basically 90th and 90 number of the Formula Award basically. Before this, basically, we will connect to one topic basically, that is basically whenever the rules and regulation comes into the picture basically, right? For example, there is one rules and regulation which has came in front of public. So that rules and regulation before coming to in front of public basically, there are lots of R&D which gets creates basically. Lots of R&D happens within the cities, within the states, within the country, and then basically what that rules is going to apply to the international level effect basically. That also gets happen. So it takes basically lots of time to implement one rules basically, you can say. So whatever rules basically gets creates, that basically has done basically lots of R&D process basically, you can say. Then only basically this rule gets implements in front of public basically. And once the implemented has happened, then basically it's very difficult to reason behind the R&D and each and everything is because once the rules has applied, then basically it's very difficult to remove that rules basically. This is exactly same as basically this question is also connected with like this same only. Who basically created the SDLC? Who created the project management plan? Who created the software industry basically? So this connects like this basically. For example, there is one set of energies. From that energy, basically one of the group basically who are basically into software industry, who basically started the software industry, who told that we will be going to start the software industry. That basically the reason was basically human needs basically, which was natural resource which was getting over. So for that alternative basically the software industry was selected. That group basically selected the few set of energies basically. For example, if you want to create water, then water energy basically required. So for that water, which are the energies basically required basically. For that basically set of energies was selected, set of data was selected, um, then basically vegetables creation. For that basically which type of data is required. That's basically set of formulas only, you can say. For example, if you want to create vegetables, then basically what are the things basically required? I will take one example. If you want to create pav bhaji, then basically what are the ingredients basically it's required? What are the things materials basically is required to do the pav bhaji creation process basically? And pav bhaji creation process means items is required. Then basically to prepare that basically lots of process are there, right? So same way basically that to create software industry, the lots of things has happened, lots of uh, first basically the software industry group basically who created the software industry, they first selected the which are the energies basically which can be converted to human needs basically. Assume that are around 5 lakh energies, and from 5 lakh this 5 lakh basically they told that these all are the human needs basically which can be converted, which can be which are these are the energies basically which can be converted into the human needs basically. So that in that or most of whatever the human needs basically were required, that basically each and everything was collected. Then basically the process starts happening. Basic process means basically if you want to create a pav bhaji, then basically the process is what? Like the same way the software creation happens. Then in software creation basically there are many softwares there are many project basically where they that get got created, like CRM project is there, ERP project is there. In that, basically, generally conditions are there, and billing projects are there. Then ERP projects are there. Like this, basically, the projects were basically created, and on the base of project, for example, CRM project. If the CRM energy gets processed, then basically you can create vegetables, fruits, and water basically. So these three only human needs can be created from the CRM project. Like this, basically, there are more than 1 lakh to 2 lakh projects which was created and created by the experts, basically, you can say. and the experts basically created on the base of that energy basically. So the people who have the energy basically level in, sorry, the software energy information, and the software energy group basically connected with the set of power companies and this energy companies basically, they basically are connected with the banking industry, right? Because the power bank basically, there is one bank basically that you can say power bank basically. You can give this name as a power bank basically. Total power basically exists in this world basically, you can say. So total power bank basically are connected with the banking industry, and the banking industry have the each and every information basically of the which are the, because banking industry says that each and every basically creations required money, right? So each and every money basically how much expenses has happened for the each and every creation. So for that, basically, you have to connect with the banking industry. So banking industry, power bank industry, energies industry, or basically it's an integration industry, integrated industry basically, which has created the software industry. And like this, basically, after creation, everything basically the software creation happens. Software creations happen like this. Basically, the 5 lakh, sorry, 2 to 3 lakh. Main software basically which was going to convert it, which was going to used as a process of the human needs creation for that like this basically CRM was selected, ERP was selected, like this each and everything was created on the before this basically the base company basically was created like this. Microsoft is there, SAP is there, Salesforce is there, PHP is there, Python is there, C is there, C++ is there. If I say that Java basically company, and when the Java software gets implemented in the one server basically, if Java basically, if I say that Java is created on the base of 3000 cities, then basically it would not be wrong basically, because Java itself is one energy basically, itself is one power basically. So Java basically have how many powers, that also is there. So each and every things basically are connected with each other, and like this basically the Java company got created. Java basically was created on the base of, you can say, Java Power, Java Energy basically, you can say. So from Java basically, if any company is creating the Java project basically, then which are the human needs basically you can create from the Java projects. Like this basically, for example, few human needs like oils basically can only be created from the Java. This is basically just example taken. It can be totally different items basically. So you can say that these items can only be created from the Java energy. These items can be only created from the Python energy. This can be only created from the Python. Like this basically PHP. This energy can be only created from the Salesforce energy. These items can be created only from the Microsoft energy. These items can human needs basically can be created only from the C++ energy. Like this Java, Python, like Python, like this basically each and every items are there which can be created from this energies only, because they have created the base is basically already designed, and on the base of human needs basically the software industry has designed. Like this basically this base is already created. Now basically the creation of the software industry happens basically. Like CRM project basically want to develop. So for that basically the investor basically came into picture. They told that we can basically do the set of companies, set of software company basically we can do. So for that basically we can do the investment like this basically the big company like TCS, Accenture, Capgemini, Priya Infotech, Patani, then Accenture, BMC, Allscript, and then many basically the big level companies basically they came into picture, and they told that we will be creating these all things basically that are basically projects basically, you can say. Like this the software industry came into picture. Before this basically if you want to create like this basically few software industry came into picture, right? So like this basically they started this creating projects like this. They told that if you will not create any system basically, then basically it is going to create problem basically in future basically. So we have to create the system basically. For that basically they started creating the system. For example, If there are coder basically doing the coding, then basically it's not possible to understand the coding of one person to another person. One person is leaving the company and another person is joining the company. So he is supposed to understand the coding which is written. For that, basically modular coding started. Modular coding means functional level, procedure level. Like this, basically procedures creation started. Coding level standard basically got changed because the it's not possible that one person basically is working in the one project. He is going to work for that project until the project is getting complete. It might not be possible. He might get some job and he can leave the company. So like this, basically the modular coding started. Then modular coding basically started. Then basically, if any person is telling that one project manager is telling that I can't sit with the developer and do the coding, basically tell him to do this line of coding. For that, basically the project manager told that we will create few documentation that is basically will create one SDLC format that is basically standard SDLC basically uh, and project management plan document. Project management plans basically we can create. In that, basically we can create each and every documents, whatever the things are supposed to be do, what are the each and every things basically that developer has to do, the quality department has to do. That basically we can define the task. For example, the project management plan is there. In project management plan, quality level plan is there, cost level plan is there, budget level plan is there, cost then the project specification plan is there, UTC is there, and then the risk management plan is there, budget level management plan is there. Like this, each and everything basically project manager and the project director are going to define in one project basically. So whenever the things basically is required, then basically the project developer and the quality department can just verify that documents basically. They just need that link basically in which where the each and every documentation is contained basically. So the documentation is contained in this particular folder that is basically stored by the project directors and project manager. So they are going to just access the that link and basically each and every documentation which basically the things has to be created. For that, basically many tools are also created like Jira is there, flows.com is there, and projectmanager.com is there, project Microsoft software project management plan is there. Microsoft basically tool is there basically, which basically helps into creation of entire SDLC. Basically you can say. For example, one project, one example I will take. Project manager tool that we want to create one login screen creation basically. So for that, basically he created the project specification. He created the UTC with the help of the quality department, and basically set of UTC basically creates basically after the project specification created and after the development is done. And when the tester tests the thing, basically that time basically the UTC gets created. But few basically login screens so basically is used by the many people. So like this basically few UTC basically gets creates in advance. Like this basically UTC was created. Like this basically you can say the project manager has used one tool basically. In that basically he told that this is the task basically, and this task containing this print basically, and this was allocated this resource basically. So whenever that resource gets to the login, he gets the task basically. So according to that task basically, he is going to complete that task, and then basically he is going to finish the task, and he is going to he is going to pass this task to the quality department basically. Then the quality department checks the stuff, and then basically they recheck the thing and everything. The error comes, the issue log comes into picture, the error log comes into the picture. So the according to the tool basically, the developer has to check the issue log and error log basically, whether the error log or issue log contains of the sprint of this module of this task basically. Then basically he's going to check the thing basically, the error is there or not. So basically without interacting with, without doing the phone calls, without doing the chatting, basically one tool basically is just helping to do the work basically, you can say. Like this basically the people are doing the work and each and every people are doing the work. And like this, basically, you can say this entire HDLC is getting worked in this. Like this, you can say the entire software industry is working like this. That also you can say one system is created. So this is basically the 190 number formula part. In next format, basically in next video, basically that is 91. We are going to discuss a little bit more about the formula word and the question and answer.